It all started with a scream that silenced the whole hallway. Students froze as the sound echoed through the walls, not the playful kind of scream, but one that came from real pain. It came from the back of the gym, where 3 seniors had cornered the new girl Emma. They laughed as she tried to shield herself. One of them kicked her bag, another shoved her to the ground. Her books scattered. But none of them noticed the woman walking in through the gym door. Her boots silent, her eyes sharp, and her presence commanding. She wasn't just anyone. She was Commander Grace Donovan, Emma's mother, a U.S. Navy SEAL instructor visiting her daughter's school for the first time. And what she saw next would make even the toughest bully wish they'd never been born. TR1. The new girl Emma Donovan was used to change. New towns, new schools, new beginnings. It came with being the daughter of a military officer. But this time was different. She wasn't a soldier, she was a 15-year-old girl who wanted to fit in, wear normal clothes, laugh at inside jokes, and have friends who stayed longer than a year. On her first day at Ridgeview High, she walked in quietly, a light denim jacket, her mother's old bracelet around her wrist, and a backpack that had seen better days. She smiled at people, but smiles weren't always returned. The school hallways were divided. Popular kids ruled, athletes strutted, and anyone new became fair game. At lunch, she sat alone. The chatter and laughter around her only made the silence louder. She opened her lunchbox, homemade food her mom made that morning before leaving for her base training, and whispered to herself, "Just one good day. Please." But the universe had other plans. When she stood up to throw away her trash, her foot caught on something. Her tray flew, and mashed potatoes landed squarely on the sneakers of the most feared girl in school, Chloe Ryan, the cheer captain. Laughter erupted. Chloe looked down, disgusted. "Watch it, newbie," she snapped. "I'm so sorry," Emma stammered, bending down to help. But before she could finish, Chloe's boyfriend, Troy, kicked Emma's tray aside and muttered, "You think you can walk in here and mess with us?" The cafeteria fell silent. Emma froze, cheeks burning. She mumbled another apology, grabbed her bag, and left. That night at home, Grace noticed her daughter's silence. "Rough day?" she asked, setting down her mug of coffee. Emma nodded faintly. "Just school stuff?" Grace smiled. "Want me to talk to someone?" Emma shook her head. "No, Mom. You're kind of intimidating." Grace laughed softly but studied her daughter's face. Years of training taught her to read fear, and she saw it there, beneath Emma's brave attempt to smile. "Remember what I always tell you," Grace said gently. Emma nodded. "That strength isn't about fighting. It's about knowing when not to." "Exactly," Grace said. "But if someone crosses the line, you make sure they don't again." The next day, Emma tried again. She forced herself to walk tall. She even answered a question in class confidently. But bullies don't like confidence. By the 3rd day, her locker was vandalized, sticky notes with cruel words, a photo of her mom in uniform torn in half. Still, she said nothing. Then came Friday, the day it all changed. The school had an open gym after classes. Emma stayed to practice volleyball alone, headphones on, trying to forget the world. But Chloe and her friends weren't done with her. They came in laughing, spotting her instantly. "Look who thinks she's part of the team," Chloe sneered. "I'm just practicing," Emma replied quietly. "Practicing for what?" Troy said. "The Loser Olympics." They surrounded her. One of them kicked the ball away. Another shoved her shoulder. When Emma picked up her backpack to leave, Troy snatched it and tossed it to the ground. "Leave me alone," she said, her voice trembling but firm. Troy's smirk widened. "Or what?" Before she could react, he kicked her leg lightly, mocking. Then harder. Emma stumbled. The others laughed. And that's when a cold voice cut through the air. "Or you answer to me." The gym door creaked open. Grace stood there, her military jacket still on, having come straight from a base meeting to surprise Emma. But what she walked into wasn't a reunion. It was an assault. The laughter died instantly. Grace's eyes locked on her daughter on the floor. "Step away from her," she said, calm but deadly. "TR2, the SEAL instructor." Mom, Troy laughed nervously. Whoa, chill lady, we were just playing." Grace took one slow step forward. "That's what you call playing? 3-on-1. The students backed away as her presence filled the room. There was something terrifying in her stillness, the kind that comes from years of command and control. Chloe whispered, "Who even are you?" Grace didn't blink. Her mother. For a moment, silence swallowed the room. Emma looked up, tears in her eyes. "Mom." Grace knelt beside her, helped her up, checked her arm, her face, her knee. "You're okay," she whispered. "You did nothing wrong." Then she turned to the bullies. "Now you three." Troy scoffed. "You can't touch us." But Grace didn't need to. She stepped closer, her tone turning colder. "You think you're tough. I train people who swim miles in freezing water, carry 50 pounds on their backs, and crawl through fire. But even they know respect, something you clearly missed at home." The principal and a few students began gathering near the doorway, drawn by the tension. Grace gestured to them. "Everyone here saw what happened. You humiliated, assaulted, and mocked a new student. My daughter may forgive you. I don't." Chloe stammered. We didn't mean." "You meant every second of it," Grace interrupted. "And now you're going to learn something." She looked at the principal, who stood frozen. "I'm not asking for suspension. I'm asking for understanding. Let me handle it my way." To everyone